Welcome back, folks, for another fun reloading video. Today, we're going to be loading up some training rounds using Hodgdon Longshot and Barry's 115 grain plated bullets. We're going to be using our Unis Ginex small pistol primers, and we are going to be seated out to 1.15 inches. So here on the left, we have our Hornady 115 grain XTP. What we're trying to do here is match the velocity so that I can train with the cheaper Barrys and not have to use the more expensive Hornady XTP. And as far as cheap training goes, we all know that casting our own is the cheapest way to go, but for those who can't, we're going to play with a plated option today. So we are going to be using mixed brass today, and our primer tube has already been loaded. And our last step before we get going here, we're going to adjust our seating stem with a dummy round because we're changing from the last thing I was loading. And we're going to start by backing this out so we don't squish our dummy round. We'll raise this up and then I'm going to, ooh, there it was. I was actually close. I barely came out. So there we're touching, and I'll just barely tighten our lock ring and we'll check the first one that comes out, but as long as it plunks, we'll be good to go. We start with station 1 and a spent piece of brass. Once we run it up, it's going to full length size as well as decap our spent primer. And then we push forward to prime our brass. We'll give that a check. Beautiful. Next, we're going to rotate. We're going to put in another piece of brass here, and now we're going to be flaring and adding powder up here. So at the same time, we're still priming and sizing on stage 1, and now we have powder in our case. Here's a look at our case fill with the Longshot. This is 5.9 grains. We're going to index our press again. New brass. Now we can seat a bullet on our perfectly expanded case mouth there. You don't want it to fall in, you just want it to snugly grab that so it's kind of facing the right direction when you get it in there. Now we'll run them up. And we'll go ahead and take a look and get a measurement on our overall length real quick. And we are just about perfect at 1.151. I'm going to do a couple more and see what those look like. I might tweak it down just a couple thousandths, but I think we're good to go here. Finally, we index one more time, and now we're going to crimp on our final stage there. We've got our round, and now we'll just try the Plunk Test to make sure that we've got a proper crimp there. Falls right in and right out of our first barrel. And here's our next one. Right in and right out. Oh yeah, perfect. And just for curiosity's sake, now that all of our bases are loaded, so to say, I'm going to check the overall length on our seating die just to see how much that might drift. So we're actually about 1,000th or so longer back at 1.152 now. So I'm going to go ahead and just dial that down a hair, and I think we'll be good to go. Now that we're set up, it's time to get rocking and rolling. We'll just take this last one here at random and check our overall length here. And perfect, we are just under the 1.150 mark, right at like 1.148. That one felt like it was a little harder to go in, probably because it's freaking S&B, and those are usually crimped. So yeah, good thing nothing happened. That was just a little harder to seat there. You saw I got hung up, but now we are good to go. So this is roughly my point of view. You gotta kind of look around the press to see if you got your powder in there. Looks like we're good. We're about halfway done, I think. We're going to be doing 90 of these total. I think we're close to halfway done here. Crimped pocket. Oh yeah, good job, Aguila. No worries, we'll just push harder. Oh, beautiful. Really, the crimped primer pockets aren't as big of a deal as I make them, but it is annoying when you have to stop and check. So I try and sort those out when I'm cleaning them, if I can. So we're winding down here. I think we got 7 or 8 primers left. Oh shit. Oh, try to avoid that at 2 a.m. Okay, return the rod with the sensor flipped up. There we go, we got a charge. We have a primer. We might have 5 more cases, I think. Just drop that on the floor too. You ever notice when you try to be as quiet as you can, that's when you make the most noise? Seems like a thing. Anyways, yeah, these should be going about 1,200 feet per second out of a 4-inch barrel. And then of the 3-inch, we might hit 1050, I'm hoping. Which is pretty good for a 115 grain. And again, these are just training rounds here so that we can sort of simulate what we might be feeling as far as recoil and shot placement compared to the XTPs we just loaded up. Yes, they'll have different internal case capacity based on seating depth of the 2 bullets, but no primer. There it is. That's probably the last one there. It usually gets caught. Yep, no more primers. There's our last one. Seating, crimping, and again, I'll just check the overall length here and make sure we can plunk. There we go, we're right at 1.145, which is just fine. Here we'll do the plunk. Oh, there it is, in and out. Here's the 4-inch barrel. There we go. So there you have it, folks. We have 89 rounds to test of our training rounds, which are supposed to simulate the recoil and point of impact of our Hornady test loads here with our 115 grain XTPs. So stay tuned for the range report. I'm going to be comparing these 2 rounds, and we're going to see if the velocities we get here with Longshot are worth chasing, because it is less economical than, say, pretty much any other pistol powder that uses less than 5 to 6 grains per shot. But anyways, if you're chasing velocity, you're not looking at economics because the two don't normally match up. And especially if you're using a defensive round, you're going to want to get that velocity to help it expand. And again, we're trying to simulate the recoil and shot placement of those rounds we're also working up. So stay tuned for more. Thanks for watching, guys. If you like this kind of content, feel free to subscribe to the channel. We will see you in the next video. Have a good one.